The cavernous hangar of the Luna shipyards buzzed with anticipation. Hundreds of Earth's finest engineers, scientists, and military personnel stood in neat rows, their eyes fixed on the massive hangar doors. Behind those doors lay humanity's greatest achievement in space technology, the UES Titan. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the forefront, her heart pounding. Years of her life had gone into this project, countless sleepless nights and bitter arguments with conservative admirals who couldn't see past their outdated notions of space warfare. Now, it all came down to this moment. Nervous Captain. Admiral Zhao's gruff voice came from beside her. Sarah straightened her back. "No, sir. The Titan will speak for itself." Zhao grunted. "It better. We got a lot riding on this oversized cube of yours." Before Sarah could respond, a hush fell over the crowd. The hangar doors began to part with a low, rumbling groan. As they opened, gasps and murmurs rippled through the audience. There, bathed in the harsh lights of the hangar, sat the UES Titan. It was, as Zhao had said, essentially a giant cube. Its obsidian surface was smooth and featureless, marred only by what appeared to be a few small viewports and docking hatches. To the untrained eye, it looked less like a warship and more like a colossal space station. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. They didn't understand. Not yet. The murmurs grew louder as a procession of alien diplomats entered the hangar. Representatives from a dozen species of the Galactic Confederation had come to witness humanity's entry into the ranks of true spacefaring civilizations. Their reactions ranged from poorly concealed amusement to outright disdain. A tall, willowy alien with iridescent skin glided forward. Ambassador Lyartic of the Etheri, Earth's closest allies in the Confederation. Her large, compound eyes blinked rapidly as she took in the Titan. "Captain Chen," Lyartic said, her translator struggling to convey the mix of confusion and pity in her voice. "This is unexpected. When your people spoke of a dreadnought, we assumed." "You assumed wrong, Ambassador," Sarah replied coolly. "The Titan represents a completely new paradigm in space warfare." A harsh, barking laugh cut through the air. A stocky, reptilian alien pushed his way to the front. Grakthor, the Zorak's military attaché. His species was known for their aggressive expansion and military prowess. "New paradigm." Grakthor sneered, sharp teeth glinting. "It looks like you've launched a floating warehouse into space. Where are the weapons? The armor? This thing wouldn't last 5 minutes in a real battle." Sarah felt her cheeks burn, but she kept her composure. "Appearances can be deceiving, attaché. The Titan's capabilities go far beyond conventional weaponry." "Oh." Grakthor's eyes narrowed. "And what capabilities would those be?" "Advanced storage techniques. Perhaps it's designed to bore your enemies to death." Laughter rippled through the alien delegation. Even some of the human officers looked uncomfortable, casting sidelong glances at the Titan, and then at Sarah. Admiral Zhao stepped forward, his face red with barely contained anger. "Now see here." Sarah put a hand on his arm, silencing him. "It's all right, Admiral. Let them laugh. They'll understand soon enough." As the laughter died down, Sarah noticed one alien who wasn't joining in the mockery. He stood apart from the others, a tall, slender being with pale blue skin and eyes that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Unlike the others, he was studying the Titan with intense curiosity. Sarah made her way over to him. "You seem interested in our ship, Mr. Zaxlor," the alien replied, his voice a soft melody. "And yes, I find your Titan intriguing. There's more to it than meets the eye, isn't there?" Sarah raised an eyebrow. "You're very perceptive, Zaxlor. May I ask what species you represent?" Zaxlor's lips curved in an enigmatic smile. "I'm here as an independent observer. Let's just say I have a vested interest in unique approaches to space travel and combat." Before Sarah could press further, Admiral Zhao's voice boomed across the hangar. "If our esteemed guests are finished with their assessments, perhaps we could move on to the demonstration." The alien diplomats gathered around a large holographic display. Sarah took her place at the controls, keenly aware of the skeptical eyes upon her. "The UES Titan," she began, "is not just a warship. It's a self-contained fleet, a mobile command center, and a technological testbed all in one." She manipulated the controls, and the hologram of the Titan came to life. As the assembled crowd watched, the cube began to shift and change. Panels slid apart, revealing layer upon layer of complex machinery. Smaller ships emerged from hidden bays, each one specialized for different aspects of space combat. The outer hull is composed of a metamaterial that can absorb and redirect energy weapons, Sarah explained. The cube configuration is its transit and defense mode. In battle, it can reconfigure to optimize for different tactical situations. She demonstrated several configurations, each one eliciting gasps of surprise from the audience. The cube transformed into a sprawling array of interconnected platforms, then a sleek aerodynamic form for atmospheric entry, then a dispersed network of smaller units connected by energy tethers. The heart of the Titan is GAIA, the most advanced AI ever created by humanity. Sarah continued. She coordinates all systems, adapting strategies in real time based on battlefield conditions. As if on cue, a soft, melodious voice filled the hangar. "Greetings, honored guests. I am GAIA. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance." The alien diplomats looked at each other in shock. AIs of this level were rare even among the most advanced Confederation species. Grakthor, the Zorax attaché, had lost his mocking smile. He stared at the hologram with a mixture of disbelief and growing concern. This changes things," he muttered. Ambassador Lyertic stepped forward, her iridescent skin shimmering with excitement. "Captain Chen, this is remarkable. Why did you not inform the Confederation of these capabilities earlier?" Sarah allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. "As I said, Ambassador, appearances can be deceiving. Humanity has learned that it's sometimes best to keep our cards close to our chest." As the demonstration continued, Sarah noticed Zaxlor hanging back from the group, his shimmering eyes fixed not on the hologram, but on her. There was something in his gaze that sent a shiver down her spine, a mix of admiration and something else, something that looked almost like recognition. The rest of the delegation was abuzz with excited chatter, their earlier derision forgotten. Plans were already being made for joint exercises, technology exchanges, and diplomatic summits to reassess Earth's standing in the Confederation. But as the day wound down and the aliens filed out of the hangar, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage in a way that couldn't be ignored. And judging by the looks some of the diplomats were exchanging, not everyone was happy about it. As she watched the Titan being prepared for its maiden voyage, a mixture of pride and apprehension filled her. They had built this ship to defend Earth and its colonies, to secure humanity's place among the stars. She just hoped they were ready for whatever challenges that place might bring. Chaos at the frontier. The red sun of New Eden cast long shadows across the wheat fields as Jack Harper wiped the sweat from his brow. 5 years since he'd traded his pulse rifle for a plow, and some days he still reached for a weapon that wasn't there. Old habits died hard, especially for an ex-Marine. "Dad, Dad." His daughter's voice carried across the field. 10-year-old Zoe came running, her dark hair streaming behind her. "There's something weird on the news." Jack's stomach tightened. On a frontier world like New Eden, weird news was rarely good. He followed Zoe back to the house, where his wife, Aisha, stood transfixed before the holoscreen. The image showed a shaky feed from a civilian ship. In the distance, angry red flares of weapons fire lit up the blackness of space. The ticker at the bottom of the screen read, "Gore King." Unidentified vessels attacking New Eden's orbital stations. "It's them, isn't it?" Aisha whispered, her dark eyes wide with fear. "The Zorax." Jack nodded grimly. The aggressive reptilian species had been pushing at the borders of human space for years. It seemed they'd finally decided to push all the way through. "We need to get to the shelter," Jack said, already moving to grab the go-bags they kept ready. "Zoe, get Buddy and—" The house shook violently, cutting him off. Through the windows, they saw a pillar of fire and smoke rising from the direction of New Washington, the planet's capital. "They're already here," Aisha breathed. Jack's military training kicked in. Change of plans. "We're evacuating now." As they rushed to their rugged terrain vehicle, the sky lit up with the trails of drop pods streaking through the atmosphere. The Zoracs were launching a full-scale invasion. In the capital's defense headquarters, Colonel Maya Ortiz watched in horror as her carefully constructed planetary defense grid crumbled under the Zoracs' onslaught. "Status report," she barked. Lieutenant Kira Chen, her second in command, and not coincidentally, Captain Sarah Chen's younger sister, responded with admirable calm. "Orbital stations Alpha and Gamma are gone. Beta is holding, but not for long. Ground-based ion cannons are operational, but we're overwhelmed by the number of targets." Maya gritted her teeth. New Eden was humanity's most advanced extrasolar colony, but it had been terraformed for agriculture, not war. They were woefully unprepared for an assault of this magnitude. "What about the distress beacon? Any response from Earth or the Confederation?" Kira shook her head. The long-range comm array was one of their first targets. "We're cut off." A thunderous explosion rocked the building. Maya steadied herself against a console. "We can't hold them off forever. We need to organize an evacuation." "To where?" Kira asked. "They control orbit. There's nowhere to go." Maya's eyes hardened. "Then we make our stand here. Patch me through to all frequencies." As Kira worked, Maya took a deep breath. She trained for this, but facing the reality of it was something else entirely. When Kira nodded, indicating the channel was open, Maya spoke. "People of New Eden, this is Colonel Maya Ortiz. As you know, we are under attack by the Zoracs. Make no mistake, this is not a raid. This is an invasion. But we are not beaten. I'm calling on every able-bodied citizen to join in the defense of our home. This is our planet, and we will not give it up without a fight." In the Galactic Confederation's central chamber on Alphatus Prime, pandemonium reigned. Delegates from 100 species argued vociferously, their translator devices creating a cacophony of overlapping voices. Ambassador Lyartic of the Aetheri struggled to be heard over the din. "We must render aid immediately. The humans are our allies." Grakthor, the Zoracs military attaché, snarled in response. "The humans were warned to stay out of our rightful expansion zones. This is an internal matter between our species." "Internal matter?" Lyartic's iridescent skin flushed with anger. "You're invading the sovereign world." Before Grakthor could retort, a new voice cut through the chaos. "Perhaps we should consider the larger implications of this conflict." All eyes turned to Zaxlor, the mysterious independent observer who had been present at the unveiling of the UES Titan. He stood calmly in the center of the chamber, his shimmering eyes surveying the assembled delegates. "The balance of power in this sector of the galaxy is delicate," Zaxlor continued. "A Zorax victory could destabilize the entire region. On the other hand, if the humans successfully defend themselves with technology we don't fully understand." He let the implication hang in the air. The chamber erupted into fresh arguments. Amid the chaos, no one noticed Zaxlor slip away, a small smile playing on his lips. Back on New Eden, Jack Harper found himself falling into old patterns he thought he'd left behind. He gathered a group of fellow veterans and anyone else willing to fight, turning his quiet farming community into a resistance cell. "They're pushing towards the ion cannon installations," he told the assembled group, pointing to a crude map drawn in the dirt. "If those fall, there's nothing stopping them from bringing down their heavy ships." A young woman named Elena, who'd been a high school physics teacher just days ago, spoke up. We've rigged up some EMP devices. They won't stop a Zorax walker, but they should fry their personal shields. Jack nodded approvingly. It was this kind of ingenuity that gave them a fighting chance. Good work. We'll use those too. He was interrupted by the roar of engines overhead. Everyone tensed, reaching for weapons. But instead of Zorax fighters, they saw the welcome sight of human dropships streaking across the sky. Reinforcements from Earth. Someone asked hopefully. Jack shook his head. No way they got here that fast. Must be from one of the other colonies. It wasn't much, but it was something. All right, people, let's link up with them and show these lizards they picked the wrong planet to mess with. As they moved out, Jack caught sight of a flaming wreck in a nearby field, a downed Zorax fighter. For a moment, he allowed himself to hope. They were outgunned and outnumbered, but they weren't giving up. New Eden would not fall. Not today. Light years away, aboard the UES Titan, Captain Sarah Chen received the fragmented distress call from New Eden. Her face was grim as she turned to Admiral Zhao. "Sir, permission to take the Titan to New Eden." Zhao frowned. "It hasn't completed its shakedown cruise. We don't know if it's ready for real combat." "With all due respect, sir, we don't have a choice. New Eden needs us. Humanity needs us." Sarah's eyes blazed with determination. "It's time to show the galaxy what the Titan can really do." Zhao held her gaze for a long moment, then nodded. "Make it happen, Captain." As the crew rushed to battle stations, Sarah allowed herself a small, fierce smile. The Zorax thought they had caught humanity unprepared. They were in for one hell of a surprise. David versus Goliath. The UES Titan dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the New Eden system, its massive cubic form seeming to distort the very fabric of space around it. On the bridge, Captain Sarah Chen took in the tactical hologram with a grim expression. The situation was even worse than they'd feared. A vast Zorax armada hung in orbit around New Eden, their sleek, predatory ships forming a blockade that seemed impenetrable. The planet's meager defenses were all but overwhelmed, with only a single orbital station still putting up a fight. "Status report," Sarah barked. Her XO, Commander Darian Wells, responded promptly. "Zorax fleet outnumbers us at least 20-1, Captain. We're detecting heavy bombardment of ground targets. New Eden's remaining defense grid is operating at 12% capacity." Sarah nodded, her mind racing through potential strategies. GAIA analysis. The AI's serene voice filled the bridge. "Conventional tactics suggest our chances of victory are less than 2.7%, Captain. However, if we employ the Titan's unique capabilities, I calculate we can increase those odds significantly." A ghost of a smile played on Sarah's lips. "That's what I like to hear. All hands, battle stations. It's time to show them what this ship can do." As klaxons blared throughout the Titan, Sarah opened a channel to the entire crew. "This is your captain speaking. I won't lie to you. We're outnumbered and outgunned. But we have two things they don't: the most advanced ship in the galaxy and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. Today we make history. Today we save New Eden." A cheer went up from the crew, determination replacing fear in their eyes. "Helm, take us in," Sarah ordered. "Weapons, prepare for full spectrum assault. JIA, initiate transformation sequence Alpha." The Titan surged forward, its featureless hull beginning to shift and change as it approached the Zorax fleet. On the bridge of the Zorax flagship, Supreme Commander Krazak watched the approach of the lone human vessel with amusement. "So this is Earth's response. One ship against our armada." He let out a barking laugh. "Arrogant mammals. Weapons, target that eyesore and show them the folly of their—" He was cut off as his tactical officer let out a startled hiss. "Supreme Commander, the human ship, it's changing." Krazak's eyes widened as he watched the cubic ship unfold like some impossible geometric puzzle. Panels slid apart, revealing layers of advanced weaponry. Smaller craft emerged from hidden bays, forming a swarm around the transforming behemoth. "By the Egg Mother," Krazak breathed. "What manner of devilry is this?" Back on New Eden's surface, Jack Harper and his ragtag group of resistors were pinned down in the ruins of what had once been the planetary capital's main square. Zorax walkers stomped through the streets, their energy weapons cutting swaths through the city's remaining defenders. "We can't hold out much longer," Elena shouted over the din of battle, her improvised EMP launcher sparking ominously. Jack gritted his teeth, about to order a desperate charge, when suddenly the Zorax walkers stopped in their tracks. Their reptilian pilots looked skyward, mandibles agape in what Jack recognized as an expression of shock. Following their gaze, Jack felt his own jaw drop. There, descending through the atmosphere like an avenging angel, was the strangest ship he'd ever seen. It seemed to be constantly shifting, adapting its form as it engaged the Zorax vessels above. Is that one of ours?" someone asked in awe. A fierce grin spread across Jack's face. "You're damn right it is. All right, people. Reinforcements are here. Let's show them what New Eden is made of." With renewed vigor, the defenders launched a counterattack against the suddenly disorganized Zorax ground forces. In orbit, the battle raged with an intensity that left even veteran Confederation observers stunned. The Titan was a whirlwind of adaptive strategy, its form constantly shifting to meet each new threat. When the Zorax launched swarms of fighter craft, the Titan dispersed into a cloud of smaller, agile ships that met them head-on. When capital ships brought their heavy guns to bear, it reconfigured into a fortress-like configuration, energy shields flaring as they absorbed the assault. "GAIA, status update," Sarah called out, her hands flying over tactical controls. "Hull integrity at 78%, Captain," the AI responded. "Zorax fleet strength reduced by 23%. However, they are adapting to our strategies. Recommend initiating Maneuver Epsilon." Sarah nodded. "Do it." The Titan seemed to split apart, its components spreading out across a vast area of space. The Zorax fleet, thinking their enemy had finally succumbed to their assault, pushed forward into the apparent debris field. It was exactly what Sarah had been waiting for. Now, GAIA. The dispersed components of the Titan suddenly flared to life, each one revealing itself as a powerful gravitational anchor. The Zorax ships found themselves caught in a complex web of overlapping gravitational fields, their engines straining against the invisible forces. All weapons fire at will. The trap was sprung. Caught in the Titan's gravitational net, the Zorax fleet was subject to a devastating barrage from all directions. Ships that had been the pride of the Zorax armada crumpled like tinfoil under the assault. On the Confederation observation vessel, Ambassador Lertic watched the battle with a mixture of awe and terror. "By the cosmic flame," she whispered. "The humans. They've become something new." Beside her, Zaxelar's eyes gleamed with an unreadable emotion. "Not new, Ambassador," he said softly. "Very, very old." As the tide of battle turned, Colonel Maya Ortiz coordinated with the Titan from her battered command center on New Eden's surface. "Unknown vessel, this is colonial defense. Whatever you're doing up there, it's working. The Zorax ground forces are in disarray." Sarah's voice came through, strained but triumphant. "Glad to hear it, Colonel. This is Captain Chen of the UES Titan. Sorry, we're late to the party." Maya let out a relieved laugh. "Captain, you arrived just in time. We're organizing a final push to retake the capital. Any support you can provide would be appreciated." "Copy that, Colonel." Titan Actual out. Sarah turned to her crew. "You heard the lady. Let's finish this." The Titan reconfigured once more, parts of it detaching to provide close air support for the ground battle, while the main body continued to engage the remnants of the Zorax fleet. In the ruins of New Washington, Jack Harper watched in amazement as sleek craft unlike anything he'd ever seen before strafed the Zorax positions with pinpoint accuracy. Whatever this Titan was, it was turning the tide single-handedly. "Dad, look." Zoe pointed to the sky, where the massive form of the Titan could be seen, still battling the Zorax ships. Jack put an arm around his daughter's shoulders. I see it, sweetheart. That's humanity up there. That's who we are. As the last of the Zorax ships fled or surrendered, a cheer went up from the battered defenders of New Eden. Against all odds, David had triumphed over Goliath. But as the adrenaline of victory faded, Jack couldn't help but wonder. In becoming strong enough to defeat monsters, had humanity risked becoming something monstrous itself? The Titan hung in the sky above New Eden, a testament to human ingenuity and a harbinger of changes yet to come. The galaxy would never be the same again. The cube unfolds. In the aftermath of the battle, the UES Titan hung in low orbit over New Eden, its modular components slowly reintegrating into its iconic cubic form. On the bridge, Captain Sarah Chen allowed herself a moment of relief before turning to address her crew. Well done, everyone. We've won the day, but our job isn't over yet. Commander Wells, status report. Darian Wells, his uniform singed and hair disheveled, straightened up. Titan suffered moderate damage, Captain. Hull integrity at 64%, but GAIA's already initiated self-repair protocols. We should be back to 85% capacity within the hour. Sarah nodded, impressed once again by the ship's capabilities. And the Zorax. The main fleet's in full retreat. We've captured 3 of their capital ships and numerous smaller vessels. Ground forces are surrendering en masse. Excellent. JIA, begin full spectrum analysis of the captured Zorax tech. I want to know everything about their capabilities and weaknesses. The AI's serene voice filled the bridge. Already underway, Captain. Preliminary results are intriguing. I'm detecting some anomalies in their propulsion systems that don't align with known Zorax technology. Sarah's brow furrowed. Meaning? It appears the Zorax may have had outside help in planning this invasion. I'll need more time to confirm, but there are traces of technology that seem familiar. A chill ran down Sarah's spine. Familiar how? Gaia's response was interrupted by an incoming transmission. Captain, the comms officer called out, we're being hailed by a Confederation diplomatic vessel. They're requesting permission to dock. Sarah exchanged a look with Commander Wells. Well, that didn't take long. Grant them permission, but keep our security protocols at maximum. I don't want any surprises. On the planet's surface, Jack Harper stood amidst the ruins of New Washington, watching as human and allied alien ships descended to provide aid and secure Zorax prisoners. The cityscape was a jarring mix of destruction and hope. Buildings lay in rubble, but everywhere people were emerging, embracing each other, and beginning the process of rebuilding. Jack. A familiar voice called out. He turned to see Colonel Maya Ortiz approaching, her uniform caked with dust and blood, but her eyes shining with triumph. Colonel. Jack saluted, old habits dying hard. Hell of a fight. Maya grinned, clasping his shoulder. Couldn't have done it without you and your people, Harper. But we're not done yet. I need your help coordinating civilian relief efforts. You know this community better than anyone. Jack nodded, already mentally cataloging resources and safe zones. What about that ship up there? He gestured to the Titan, still visible in the daytime sky. I've never seen anything like it. Maya's expression turned serious. That's the UES Titan. It's something else. And I have a feeling it's going to change everything. Aboard the Titan, Sarah stood in the docking bay, flanked by armed guards, as the airlock cycled open. Ambassador Lyartic of the Aethery glided through, her iridescent skin shimmering with barely contained excitement. Behind her came a delegation of various alien species, their expressions ranging from awe to poorly concealed fear. Captain Chen, Lyartic began, her translator struggling to convey the depth of emotion in her voice. On behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I extend our deepest gratitude for your intervention. New Eden might have fallen without the Titan's arrival. Sarah nodded curtly. We're glad we could help, Ambassador. But I suspect this isn't just a thank you visit. Leartic's compound eyes blinked rapidly. Indeed not, Captain. What we witnessed today, it changes everything. The Titan's capabilities far exceed anything we thought possible from Earth's technology level. The Confederation Council is concerned. Concerned. Sarah's voice had an edge to it. We just saved one of our colonies from annihilation, and the Confederation is concerned. A new voice joined the conversation, smooth and oddly familiar. They're afraid, Captain Chen. As well they should be. Sarah turned to see Zaxlor, the mysterious observer from the Titan's unveiling, step forward from the back of the delegation. His shimmering eyes met hers with an intensity that made her skin prickle. You, Sarah said, her hand instinctively moving towards her sidearm. You're not just an independent observer, are you? Zaxlor smiled enigmatically. Perceptive, as always. No, Captain, I am much more than that. And I think it's time we had a talk about the true nature of your ship and of humanity's place in the galaxy. The alien delegation stirred uneasily, but before anyone could speak, GAIA's voice came over the intercom. Captain, I've completed my analysis of the Zorax technology. You need to see this immediately. Sarah hesitated, torn between her duty and the tantalizing prospect of answers from Zaxlor. Very well. Ambassador, honorable delegates, if you'll excuse me, I have urgent matters to attend to. Commander Wells will see to your needs. As she turned to leave, Zaxlor called after her. Captain, what you're about to learn. It's only the beginning. Remember, the cube unfolds in more ways than one. In the Titan's central AI core, a vast chamber pulsing with holographic displays and shimmering data streams, Sarah stood before a rotating model of a Zorax ship. GAIA's avatar, a swirling nexus of light, hovered nearby. Talk to me, GAIA. What am I looking at? The AI's voice was tinged with what almost sounded like excitement. The Zorax ships contain technology that is not their own. Some components bear striking similarities to the Titan's own systems. Sarah's blood ran cold. Are you saying the Zorax stole our tech? Negative, Captain. These components predate the Titan's development by several thousand years, at least. The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. That's impossible. We didn't have this kind of technology thousands of years ago. Hell, we barely had agriculture. GAIA's avatar pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps not, Captain. But someone did, and I believe they had a connection to Earth. As if on cue, a new hologram sprang to life. A DNA double helix, but with structures Sarah had never seen before. I've been analyzing the genetic makeup of our crew since the Titan's launch, GAIA explained. There are markers in human DNA that don't match any known evolutionary path. Dormant sequences that, when activated, could explain our ability to interface with the Titan's systems so effectively. Sarah's mind reeled. You're saying we were engineered. By whom? And why? Unknown, Captain. But it may explain why the cube configuration was chosen for the Titan. It's not just a ship, it's a key to unlocking humanity's true potential. The chamber fell silent as Sarah grappled with the weight of this revelation. Everything she thought she knew about human history, about their place in the universe, was being challenged. GAIA, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Initiate Protocol Omega. Full data lockdown. No one outside this room can know about this until we understand more. Understood, Captain. But there's one more thing. GAIA's avatar shifted, forming a familiar silhouette. The being known as Zaxlor. His genetic structure is unlike anything in our database, but it shares certain markers with the dormant sequences in human DNA. Sarah's eyes widened. He knew. Somehow, he knew what the Titan really was. She straightened, her resolve hardening. GAIA, prepare a secure briefing room. It's time I had a chat with our mysterious observer. As Sarah strode out of the AI core, the enormity of what she'd learned weighed heavily upon her. The Titan had unfolded in battle, revealing its tremendous power. Now, it seemed, another unfolding was beginning, one that would reveal the true nature of humanity itself. The cube was unfolding, and the galaxy would never be the same. Ripples across the stars. The secure briefing room aboard the UES Titan hummed with tension. Captain Sarah Chen sat across from Zaxlor, their reflections ghostly in the polished obsidian table between them. Gai's avatar shimmered in the corner, silently observing. "All right," Sarah began, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her mind. "I think it's time you told me who you really are, and what you know about the Titan, and about us." Zaxlor's shimmering eyes seemed to look through her, beyond her. "Captain Chen, what I'm about to tell you will rewrite your understanding of not just human history, but of the entire galaxy." He paused, his form shimmering slightly. "I am what you might call a curator. My kind are charged with shepherding the great experiment that is life in this galaxy." Sarah leaned forward. "Experiment? Are you saying you created us?" A small smile played on Zaxlor's lips. "Not created, no. Guided. Nurtured. Humanity, like many species, has the potential for greatness. But you are unique in one crucial aspect. You carry within you the legacy of the precursors." The precursors. An ancient race, long vanished, who seeded the galaxy with the building blocks of life. They left behind technology beyond imagining, waiting to be rediscovered by those worthy of wielding it. Zaxlor gestured to their surroundings. "This ship, the Titan, is but a fraction of that legacy." Gai's avatar pulsed. "This aligns with my findings, Captain. The dormant sequences in human DNA, the familiar technology in the Zorak ships, it's all connected." Sarah's mind raced. "But why us? Why humanity?" Zaxlor's expression turned grave. "Because, Captain, of all the species we've watched over the eons, humanity has shown the greatest capacity for both creation and destruction, for compassion and cruelty. You stand at a precipice, with the potential to become either the galaxy's greatest hope or its worst nightmare. And the Titan, what is its true purpose? It is a key, as your AI surmised, but not just to unlocking humanity's potential. It's a key to the precursor network, a vast web of technologies and gateways thread across the galaxy. With it, humanity could unite the stars, ushering in an era of peace and prosperity." Zaxlor's eyes narrowed. "Or you could use it to dominate, to subjugate." Sarah sat back, the weight of this knowledge pressing down on her. "So what happens now?" "That, Captain Chen, is entirely up to you." On the surface of New Eden, Jack Harper stood atop a hill overlooking the rebuilding efforts in New Washington. The city was a hive of activity, with humans working alongside alien allies to clear rubble and raise new structures. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" Colonel Maya Ortiz said, joining him. Jack nodded. "Never thought I'd see the day when we'd be working side by side with aliens to rebuild one of our cities." Maya's expression was thoughtful. "Things are changing, Jack. The Titan's arrival, our victory over the Zoraks, it's shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. Not everyone's happy about it. You think there'll be more fights coming our way? I hope not. But we need to be prepared." Maya turned to face him fully. "That's why I'm here, actually. Earth Command is forming a new planetary defense force, drawing from those who fought in the invasion. They want you to lead it." Jack's eyebrows shot up. "Me? I'm just a farmer." Maya smiled. "You're a lot more than that, Jack. You're a symbol of what humanity can do when pushed to the brink. Plus, you know this planet and its people better than anyone." As Jack considered the offer, a shadow passed overhead. They looked up to see the Titan, its cubic form now somehow both familiar and alien, descending through the atmosphere. "Looks like the brass is coming to town," Jack muttered. Maya's comm unit chirped. Her eyes widened as she read the message. "Jack, gather your family and your top lieutenants from the Resistance. We're being summoned aboard the Titan. Apparently, Captain Chen has something important to tell us all. The Titan's main hangar bay was packed with an eclectic mix of humans and aliens. Jack stood with his family, still somewhat in awe of their surroundings. Nearby, Ambassador Laertic conversed in hushed tones with other Confederation representatives. Even a delegation of captured Zoraks was present, their scaled forms towering over the others. A hush fell over the crowd as Captain Sarah Chen stepped onto a raised platform, flanked by her senior officers and the enigmatic Zaxlor. "Thank you all for coming," Sarah began, her voice carrying easily through the vast space. "What I'm about to share with you will change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe." Over the next hour, Sarah laid out everything: the precursors, the dormant potential within human DNA, the true nature of the Titan, and the choice that now lay before them. The hangar bay was silent as the implications sank in. "So, what happens now?" Jack found himself asking, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Sarah's gaze swept the room. "Now we decide our future. The Titan has shown us what we're capable of, but it's also shown us the responsibility that comes with such power. We stand at a crossroads, not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy." Ambassador Laertic stepped forward. "Captain Chen, while we're grateful for your intervention against the Zoraks, surely you understand the Confederation's concerns. This power you wield, it could upset the balance we've worked so hard to maintain." A low growl came from the Zoraks delegation. Their leader, Supreme Commander Krazak, spoke in a grudging tone. "For once, I agree with the Confederation. We underestimated you, humans. We will not make that mistake again. But neither will we stand idle while you activate some ancient superweapon network." Tensions in the room rose, but before anyone could respond, Zaxlor raised a hand. "You all missed the point. This is not about weapons or dominance. The precursor network was designed to unite, to elevate all sentient life. But it requires a species with the right balance of traits to act as its custodians." Sarah nodded, "which is why we're not going to make this decision alone." She turned to address the entire gathering. "What we've discovered doesn't belong to humanity alone. It belongs to all sentient life in the galaxy. We're proposing a joint initiative. Humans, Confederation species, even the Zoraks if they're willing, to explore this precursor legacy together." A murmur of surprise ran through the crowd. Jack found himself nodding approvingly. It was a bold move, but one that felt right. "It won't be easy," Sarah continued. "We'll need to overcome centuries of mistrust, of conflict. But the alternative is to let fear drive us apart, to squander this opportunity for a better future." Ambassador Laertic's compound eyes blinked rapidly. "This is unexpected, Captain, but intriguing. The Confederation will need time to discuss this proposal." Even Krazak seemed thoughtful. "You are either very wise or very foolish, human. Perhaps both. The Zorak's hegemony will consider your offer." As the various delegations broke into heated discussions, Jack made his way to Sarah. "That was quite a speech, Captain. You really think this can work?" Sarah smiled tiredly. "It has to, Jack. The alternative doesn't bear thinking about." She looked out over the diverse gathering, hope glimmering in her eyes. "This is just the beginning. The real work starts now." Zaxlor, standing nearby, nodded approvingly. "The cube unfolds, Captain Chen. And with it, the future of the galaxy. Guide it well." As the Titan hung in orbit around New Eden, the ripples of its revelations spread across the stars. In shipyards and laboratories, in diplomatic chambers, and on frontier worlds, a new era was dawning. Humanity had reached for the stars and found not just a new frontier, but a destiny intertwined with the fate of all sentient life. The cube had unfolded, and the galaxy would never be the same again.